Hi guys, hope you're all doing well. Blaise Lily here with another pick a card reading. And this one we're going to be taking a look at what is it that you need to do to bring love into your life. There are going to be three options for this reading. Option number one is going to be with this fluorite. Option number two is going to be with this amethyst. And option number three is going to be with this rainbow pyrite. So go ahead, make your decision. If you need a bit more time, pause the video because we're going to go ahead and get started with option number one. Option number one, welcome to your reading, you guys. So let's go ahead and take a look at what is blocking you from finding true love. Let's go ahead and take a look. What's preventing you from finding true love? Maybe there's nothing preventing you. Maybe it's just a question of time. But if there is, it's always a good idea to know. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look. Disappointment. A very pessimistic outlook. You guys had to kiss a few frogs, eh? And they never turned into a prince. There's a lot of disappointment. And a lot of feeling like you tend to see like, I'm sensing you just tend to see and focus on those relationships that failed. But there's still two cups over here and you're not really looking at them because you're busy mourning what was going on in the past. So just an overall like a very pessimistic outlook. But then I have the Lovers. But see, you've turned away from the Lovers. And it's interesting, and we have the two cups, we have the two Lovers over here, but you've turned away. So it's almost like you don't believe in love. You think love is like something that's made up in Hollywood. Yeah. A lot of sneakiness, a lot of deceit. And then the thing is, it's like a part of you really wants to believe, but it's like whenever you made yourself vulnerable, whenever you made yourself, and I think it has a lot to do with people leaving after getting what they wanted, getting some sort of resource from you, your money, your body, your attention, your praise, your energy, and then they get away. And you're like, well, it's the same thing that happens over and over again, isn't it? So even before a relationship starts, you sort of already know how it's going to end. So for a lot of you, option number one, you don't even bother because you're like, well, I know how it's going to end. Because it kept ending the same way. So you're like, why bother? I'm not like getting out of my home like for anything less than George Clooney, right? Or George Clooney 20 years ago. How do you see love? Some of you might be divorced, but it's almost like a lot of you see love as something very traditional and something with a lot of control in it. But the thing is, like, a lot of you have become ice queens and ice kings. Because you're hiding all of this disappointment, you're hiding a lot of past hurts under this mask of an ice queen. Some of you might have not had any physical contact for a very long time. And you might have even gone into spirituality, into religion a lot. So you're not even bothering, you're not even starting, you're so disappointed already, and you can't seem to turn. Because see, both of those cards, they're looking away from love. They're looking away from lovers. They're looking away from making choices with heart. Do you see what I'm saying? Both of these cards are looking away. And only lovers are facing one another. Okay. How do you see love? What are your feelings about love? Somebody being incredibly stingy, yeah? So a lot of you think that you might have to depend on somebody if you're in a marriage. You might have to trust on somebody to depend, to depend on them. But there's a lot of energy that somebody's a Scrooge McDuck. Somebody is really stingy with money, with energy, with loads of things. You don't see love as an abundant energy. You see love as a stingy energy. And constantly having to forgive. Constantly having to forgive. So it's interesting. It's like you're transferring everything from the past into this person who isn't even there yet. I think it's a dynamic you've experienced. And it's an unhealthy dynamic where, somebody said sorry about a million times and they still kept on doing their thing. And it made you so angry, and they made you feel bad for feeling angry. There's a lot of energy of somebody, who might have been quite manipulative. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at what is it that you need to do to see, to understand, to know, to bring love into your life. You need to reconnect with people. You need to have some fun. And you definitely need to have some work done on your lower chakras. You're really suppressing yourself, suppressing your passion, suppressing your sensuality, suppressing your shadow aspects, your shadow attributes that need to be acknowledged. You need to realize that life is a series of ups and downs. It can't go perfect. Can't always go perfectly. But they're saying you need a fresh approach. Ace of Wands is something that gets you excited, something that gets you passionate. And they're saying it's almost like you withdrew from the world. Or it could even be that you surround yourself with people, but you're not feeling the connection. The connection just isn't there. You might feel very guarded and very aggressive towards the sex that you're attracted to, whether it's same sex or opposite sex. And there's like an inner security guard that just rings the alarm, like too close, too close, too close. Especially when you start feeling yourself sexually attracted or physically being pulled towards this person. This inner security guard just switches on and says, do you remember what happened the last time? There's an inner child energy that's coming through here that wants this attention, that wants this affection, that wants this creativity. It's almost like you're not giving them the care, the attention that you deserve. So your inner child is stomping its feet. It's saying, pay attention to me. I need to have fun. I need to like be loved, and I need to be, because remember children, like when they're little, remember yourself when you were little, how much, like how love was so important, affection was so important, spending time with people you cared for was so important. And then we grow up and then we become so wounded that we forget that, you know, it's really important. Or we act like, you know, whatever, like we don't need it. We can be cold and hard and collected and, you know, what you call it? A boss girl or a boss boy. We don't need friends, we don't need love. But it's not true. The world is filled with different people, good people, bad people. It's just a question of being more discerning. And trusting your intuition, and trusting when you see a big red flag, that it's a big red flag and nothing else. They're also saying what's going to really help you bring love into your life is accepting this part of you, accepting the part of you that needs love. Like just accepting that you are a human being who needs love, who needs affection, who needs attention, who needs tenderness and kisses and excitement from getting ready for a date, and surprises and messages, long-awaited messages. You know, when you're just waiting for somebody to message you, and then they message you, and then something really, really nice, and you're like, oh my god, and you start getting all those funny feelings in your tummy, and you're all smiley. Like you need to accept that it's okay to want those things. Like it's okay to be human, not a superhuman, not a robot, not a saint, not, you know, whoever. It's like, it's absolutely normal. And accept your desires as well. And finally realize that new people are new people. And whenever you start talking to them, whenever you start developing some sort of, communication relationship with them, give them a chance to show their true selves. And follow your passions. They're saying you really need to follow your passions. Your love life is very closely linked to your passions in career, in your spiritual development, and like reconnect with the world. Coming through and they're saying it's very important for you to reconnect with the world. For some of you, it's movement. It's literally is movement, traveling. So if you guys have been called to travel, if it's your passion to travel, to explore, then absolutely go for it. Because the Chariot here indicates victory, success, making it. Go big or go home. And you ain't going home. Trust me. Just yet. Because you're going to be making it big. The Chariot talks about possibly meeting somebody while traveling. Or meeting somebody who has something to do with transportation. Acknowledge yourself. Acknowledge yourself as a leader. Acknowledge of your life. Acknowledge yourself as having both light attributes and shadow attributes. And when they are combined, then both those attributes, both sides of those attributes are propelling you forwards. But if you're just going to look at the white sphinx, you're going to go around in circles. If you're going to just look at the black sphinx, you're going to go around in circles. Do you see what I mean? But when you accept both of them, this is when you start moving forwards. Okay, let's ask this deck what you need to do. For a lot of you, it's accept love. Not even bring love into your life, it's accept love. You might be thinking that some people are just after your, again, resources, money. Some people are just telling you what you want to hear and seducing you, stringing you along and then letting you go. And again, they're saying it's like, yes, there are some people like that, but it doesn't mean that the whole world is like that, or all men are like that, or all women are like that. And some of you really can't be bothered, like with the five of with the 5 of Cups that we saw at the beginning of the reading. They're saying you don't feel the energy. You're just like, what's the point? So find your inner motivation, and your inner motivation is going to come through when you realize that love is not what you think it is. And that love is liberating, that love is fun. And yes, it sometimes can be rather difficult, but it doesn't mean that you have to dissolve in the other person. It doesn't mean that you have to enter and be in a relationship that you're not happy in. Remember that you still have freedom of choice, freedom of action. And the final card as an outcome. Oh, there's your King of Wands. There's your King of Wands. There's your leadership. There's your King. And funny enough, it might start off as a fling as well, but grow into something else. So you are going to be attracting your king or your queen. Mostly male energy coming through over here. But again, this is a general reading. So it does look like you're bringing somebody in. Alright, option number 1. I'm going to end your reading here. I hope you enjoyed it and it resonated. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell icon so you don't miss out any of my other upcoming content. For personal readings, send me an email. My email's in the description box below. And don't forget to check out my Patreon out for more exclusive content, additional discounts, magic, rituals, protection rituals, and much, much more. Alright guys, take good care of your amazing selves now. Bye. Option number 2, welcome to your reading. Let's go ahead and take a look at what is it that you need to do to bring love into your life. And we're going to start with what's blocking love from coming into your life, if anything. Are there any blocks? Okay, option number 2, very spiritual. Feeling what? That you need to sacrifice something? A lot of sacrifice is coming through. A lot of disempowerment. things that haven't worked out. Things that haven't worked out, like you were putting a lot of, it's almost like you made the wrong choice. You might have ended up choosing between two or more people, and it's like they got away with things, they stole from you. Like you had big plans, there were really big plans with the Two of Wands over here, and then they just got cancelled. And it's either somebody just went no contact, or somebody just took away something from you. There's a lot of energy, like literally they're showing me energy. The Hangman in reverse is the vibe where you really can't imagine any other way of being. You keep attracting the same type of person, the same type of relationship over and over again. You might also have this thing where you don't really like people like from the same country or same religion or whatever. You tend to be like, I think you also might not like a place where you live. So it has a lot to do with wanting to move, with wanting to be somewhere else. Like you're stuck. There's this energy of being stuck. Okay, let's see. Is it stuck on some person or what? It's like this vibe of feeling stuck and you can't really see. This has a lot to do with your childhood. This has a lot to do with your childhood. Your childhood trauma is really impacting your choices in men or women. A relationship dynamic you might have seen in your parents, maybe a child of divorced parents or single mother, single father, still being very much influenced by the energy of a breakup with the last partner, or still being very much influenced by the breakup of your parents and how bad it was. So you want to get away. It's almost like an escapism energy that I'm picking up over here. Being very strongly influenced by maybe even not just your parents, but your grandparents as well. They're showing me it's a relationship dynamic that's been going on for a very long time. Codependent relationships. Maybe even somebody who used to, there's some sort of feeling like you can't leave, like having to endure things and feeling like you can't leave. So you feel like if you end up staying in this place where you are, or if you're going to end up with people who surround you at this particular moment, you think that you're going to have a very specific type of relationship. It could sometimes even indicate arranged marriages or marriages just for the sake of getting out of a home from your parents. This could also be realizing that you are not going to have any freedom. A lot of forced energy. It's interesting. For option number 2, you see love like as something that you're fearing. Like literally, there's a lot of fear. It has a lot to do with, they're showing me it has a lot to do with the specifics of where you are. So of course, like deep subconsciously, if you think of love like this, then of course you're not going to want it. Of course you're not going to want to welcome it. So a lot of the option number 2, you want to run away from it. To a different country, to a different location. You want to have somebody who doesn't have the same mentality as you. Like some countries, some religions, some people that they really undermine like women, and I think it might be this, like this energy where you're just going to become a nobody, and you really don't want that. Show me how you see love. With infidelity. With infidelity. Some of you might have had a very horrible stepmother, or your father constantly had to, constantly had an affair, had affairs. There was always the other woman. So you grew up thinking like specific type of men, or specific, like it's not gender specific, but I'm reading it as general energy. So if you're a man watching this, then obviously just switch it. Maybe, you know, like one of your parents might have had an affair, but with you it's like you keep seeing it as infidelity. Like maybe you've been told that, you know, men can't be monogamous, or women can't be monogamous, or monogamy isn't right. And this decision, it's almost like for you, love is like where the decision has to be based more on what the person has to offer, rather than like materially, rather than love, rather than anything else. Like very practical approach. Like what are they bringing to the table? What am I bringing to the table? And not being able to open up emotionally. A little bit more on how you see love. Yeah, being dependent. Dependent, having to ask, being... Again, very much like option number 1, it feels like you guys grew up with somebody who was very stingy. But this is the same energy as the Four of Pentacles. So it's almost like regressing back to being a child, to like having handouts. But passion is here. And routine. So the only exciting thing over here is the passion, right? Because you're seeing it as routine, you're seeing it as having to be, like there's no fun in it. Love and marriage, it's like it's a burden. It's like it's a competition. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at what is it that you need to do, that you need to realize to bring true love into your life. have a brand new approach, like mental reload. But they are saying you will really greatly benefit from changing your surroundings. Whether it's just changing the place that you're living in at the moment, changing the area, changing... There's a lot of energy of change. Taking a risk. Taking that leap of faith. And remembering that God is on your side, the universe is on your side. That you can be happy, that you can start afresh, that it doesn't matter how old you are. I'm saying the sun is going to shine for you as well, with the full. And you will greatly benefit from changing your surroundings. Having a more light-hearted approach to the whole thing. Realizing that the times have changed. And realizing that you have the power to always say no and to walk away. You don't have to follow your ancestral pattern. You have your own life. And realizing that is going to take away the burden of expectations, the burden of people's past. Like you need to realize that you are your own separate person. You're not an extension of your parents. You're not, do you know what I mean? It doesn't mean that you have to repeat somebody else's story. Embark on a journey that's yours. They're saying you're going to be able to see many more things. Energetically, you're going to become more open. And you're going to get out of this apathetic energy. See other opportunities, see other options. Focus your mind, on other things. See different types of relationships. And just don't create any scenarios in your head. And realize that not everything is what it seems. That all fears really do, they keep you in the swamp. So there's a lot of energy of addressing your subconscious. So they're saying you really need to work with, it's either meditation, hypnosis, whichever way that you're going to find good for you to really go that step deeper within yourself. Because you need to be able to see those blocks. Yeah, this has a lot to do with clearing the ancestral path. A lot of it has to do with clearing the ancestral energies over here. Some of you might be burying yourself in work, taking on too much expectations, traditions. It's too much. And with the Tower, it's like the suggestion here is to let it go. To not be afraid to piss someone off. To not be afraid to close somebody else's book and start reading your own. Almost like they're saying, be a rebel. Be a rebel, fight for your happiness. What else can you do to bring love into your life? Forgiveness of manipulation in the past. A lot of forgiveness needs to take place. So if you guys have been manipulated in the past, because when we're angry at somebody else, a lot of times we're actually angry at ourselves. Angry, why did we allow ourselves to be treated that way? Why did we not speak up? And you didn't speak up, or you didn't, because you didn't know better. So there's no point in being angry with yourself. So you need to forgive yourself here a lot. You need to forgive yourself because you don't trust yourself. And don't let yourself be emotionally blackmailed. Some people might try to emotionally blackmail you into doing something, to act out of guilt. So for a lot of you guys, there's a lot of changes. It's like leaving your home, leaving your country, leaving your traditions behind because they don't suit you, because you're not okay with them, because you don't want this type of life. And the outcome. And the outcome is making decisions based on your heart and finding your true love. Very simple. Very simple outcome. Love. Learning to make decisions from you and taking responsibilities for those decisions. Responsibility. But from the cards that I'm seeing, it's going to bring you a lot of happiness. A lot of happiness and a lot of love. Alright, option number 2, I'm going to read your ending here, and your reading here. I hope you enjoyed it and it resonated. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Remember to hit that notification button so you don't miss out any of my other upcoming videos. If you guys do want personal readings, send me an email. My email's in the description box below. So is the link to my Patreon page with more exclusive content, additional discounts, and much, much more. So make sure to check it out. My darlings, take good care of your amazing selves now. Bye. Option number 3, welcome to your reading. Let's go ahead and take a look what's going on with you guys. So first, before we're going to be taking a look at what you need to do to attract love in your life, I want to take a look what's blocking you. What's blocking your life, your love life rather. Interesting. What's blocking your life? Could be actually blocking you from living your best life, from enjoying your life. Interesting. Interesting how the Hermit and the Knight of Cups aren't looking at each other, walking away from one another. A lot of imagination. So here I'm picking up the energy, leave me alone. I'm fine by myself, I can do it all by myself. And like a lot of you guys, you want princes or princesses. A lot of you have a lot of choice. However, it doesn't grab you, it doesn't resonate with you, it doesn't strike a chord. So for a lot of you guys, you tend to have this idea in your head of how your partner should look like, of what they should be like. And for some reason, you keep saying that it's going to happen tomorrow or it's going to happen. Like, for some reason, it's an interesting energy. You keep pushing it away because you're being very specific. And at the same time, it could be that you're literally like having a relationship with somebody in your head, with some movie star or some, I don't know, a BTS member. It's that sort of vibe. That you might be having a lot of relationships, a lot of love stories, but they're in your head, they're imaginary. And it could be like this energy of a strong influence of media, strong influence of Hollywood, strong influence of dorama or whatever. Where you imagine this person to be a certain way. You imagine a relationship to be a certain way. For some of you, you keep thinking that you need to achieve something, to do something, that the person like this, like you only want a person like this, but this person isn't going to be interested in you. Like deep down, you have this fear that they might have a lot of choices, they're not going to be interested in you. There are lots of conditions. Like you think that love has a lot of conditions. What you should look like, what they should look like, how you should meet, it should only be like this. Yeah, some of you, you just tend to live in this other world. You tend to really withdraw from reality. You prefer your own little world. Because in this world, things happen. Because in this world, it's predictable. Because you create this world. And you tend to withdraw from reality with this hermit. And in reality, there are people who want to come through, but you're not looking at them. Because those people might not look like the person you think you want. So you're not really giving them a chance. Here is the devil. The devil talks a lot about fear. In this particular spread, here it's focusing mostly on fear. Fear of the routine, there's a big fear of growing up, of maturing, of taking on responsibility, of your love life not working out as you want it to be, of having to settle. Because in the made-up world, or in the versions of your world, nobody cheats on you, right? And in reality, people have cheated on you. In the world that you made up in your head, Everything is fair and everything is just. But in reality, it's not. And you're saying, yes, it's high standards, and yes, it's absolutely amazing to have high standards. But remember in Practical Magic when Sandra Bullock made that spell to attract this guy who was just so unreal, like one green eye, one blue, flips pancakes, wears a star or something like this. And she then said, I made him up, so like there's no way that he would be real, and then he's real. So it's the same energy with you. It's like you made somebody up in your head who can't really be real. And of course, it has a lot to do with fear of being cheated on, with fear of intimacy, with loads and loads of fears. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at how you see love. How do you really see love? Come on, option number 3. Your honest opinion of love. Let's go ahead and take a look. How do you see love? Again, it's like both of you, what? You have to be perfect. You have to be this power couple. You have to be the empress. He has to be the emperor. And I'm picking up very interesting vibes for option number 3. It's almost like I have 2 groups watching me, 2 main groups. One are the dreamers, and the other ones are such hard workers, where you, like when women have just this dominant male energy. And it's like maybe a bit of a ball buster sometimes. Like you have to bring it, but still they're both about unrealistic expectations. And they're both about just waiting to see, like, see, I knew you were this, or I knew you were that. So sometimes, even though these cards are quite positive, in this context, it's almost like I have to be the empress, he has to be the emperor, or vice versa. And there's no way about, like, there's no other way. Like, there's no room for mistakes, because the empress and the emperor, they're usually very experienced people, they're older people, they're developed, they've made their mistakes already. They weren't born an emperor and an empress, they became them through making mistakes, through messing up, through learning, through going through difficult transformations. But it's like you sometimes, like you expect yourself to be perfect and you want them to be, there's a bit of a perfectionism that's going on. And we have the Knight of Cups, romance. So very traditional, because this talks a lot about tradition. So again, you have this thing where things have to happen like this. It's either my way or highway. But then, from the other perspective, another thing I'm seeing here is actually quite positive. That you do see love as 2 people coming together, bound by romance. But still a bit of a perfectionistic vibe that I'm picking up over here. How do you see love? Man. Yeah, so very traditional. A lot of you guys are very traditional. The man who does the work, man takes care of a woman. There's a lot of romance, and then there's a baby. So a very traditional energy. Okay, that's very promising. So let's go ahead and take a look then at what is it that you need to do, know, understand, consider to bring love into your life. For some of you, it could be that you're seeing, I want to go back to how you see love. Maybe it's something that you feel could be achieved later on, like real love, stable, that you could only get it at later on in life. But it's only for a few of you. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at what you need to do to bring love into your life. What's the advice from the tarot over here? Yeah. Open up and get bring yourself back to reality. Bring yourself back to reality. They're actually showing me that you need to see the difference between what's on the screen and what's off the screen. You need to see the difference between what's going on in Instagram and what's going on in real life. Like, you need to get this idea of an airbrushed relationship out of your head, because it's really messing with your head. It really is messing up your mental health, even, to be honest, for some of you. Like, I'm no doctor, but I'm definitely picking up those energies, because they're only letting you see the good parts. They're letting you see what's not always real. The smiles, the kisses, the pictures, most of it is staged. Half of it ain't even real. But it's creating something in your head that is preventing you from entering a relationship with a living, breathing person. Understand that you're lovable now. Not tomorrow, not when you lose weight, not when you gain weight, not when you become something or become somebody or do something. Like that, you're lovable now. And that it's better to experience happiness in real life rather than have the dopamine hits when you're watching something or when you're imagining something. And with the magician, it has a lot to do with willpower. Understanding that you're incredibly empowered, even if you're letting somebody else take care of you. Goes out to all my hard workers out there, wanting to be strong and independent. You can still be a magician, even when you're letting somebody else take care of you, even when you're letting somebody else help you. Spend more time around real families, real couples. Notice the dynamic. Notice the dynamic in their relationship. Talk to family members. Ask them questions, inquire, be curious. Because you have this energy where you are going to be happy. You are going to have a family. You are going to bring love. You just need to finish watching the movie in your head and like come out of this cinema already. Being lonely, withdrawing yourself, withdrawing from the world, it's actually causing you grief, nightmares, anxiety. The thing that you need to realize that it's not the real life that's causing you anxiety. It's your perception of reality that's causing you anxiety because of what you were led to believe by media, by other people's fantasies. You're saying you're very imaginative, and you could be very good at writing books, about writing poems, creating scenarios. Like, channel your imaginative energy in a different direction, but have this very strict separation of what's real and what's not. Women are misled by Hollywood, men are misled by adult movies. And we're all essentially very much misled and misguided. And that's a cause for a lot of our unhappiness. Let's see what else you can do to bring love in your life. Yeah. Travel around a bit. Spend some time in the nature that it's coming through. Spend some time in the nature and move. Look, there's something about dancing. There's something about moving. There's something about connecting with the nature. There's something about, they're saying that there's a lot of magic in real life as well. You guys are very intuitive, option number 3. You're going to be able to see it. Don't be afraid to face this loneliness. Because whenever we're watching something, or even when we're reading something, it gives us the energy that somebody else is with us. But when you switch everything off, and then you gotta realize that there's this energy of loneliness. And it's absolutely okay to be lonely. We all are at some point in our lives. But this is more about doing something about it. And look at this. They're coming through and they're saying that they're gonna be people bringing you presents. And again, Padarak, it means present, which is like being in the present, being in the moment, being in the now. So like present is a gift. It's a bit of a gameplay. They're saying there's something about giving, something about receiving. They're actually telling you to maybe give somebody a present, be somebody's secret Santa, even in August. Something about reaching out to people. And soon you'll see that there are people around you in real life who are making you feel warm and fuzzy inside. Okay, and the outcome for option number 3. You might, this is very interesting, you might end up working for the like silver screen, working in film industry, theater industry. If your talents are going to be greatly discovered and greatly appreciated. But with the Chariot over here, they're telling me that you're going to be able to move on, to move forward. For option number 3, a lot of it depends on you, greatly depends on you. But with this 10 of Cups over here, like I was saying, see, even the 10 of Cups overturned the 9 of Swords. Taking the energy away. So they are saying that, yeah, you will have a family, you will have children. But make that separation. And I can see you're very reluctant to, but Tarot can only give you advice. What you do with it is up to you. Alright, my lovelies, I think I'm going to end your reading here, option number 3. Hope you enjoyed it and it resonated. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Remember to hit that notification button so you don't miss out any of my other upcoming videos. For personal readings, email me. My email's in the description box below. So there's the link to my Patreon page with more exclusive content, additional discounts, love magic, protection rituals, and much, much more. So make sure to check it out. Alright, my darlings, take good care of amazing selves now. Bye.